Welcome to the Karpfucius Says Podcast, the show where we talk about anything and everything related to living a more purposeful and empowered life. I am your host, Michael Karp, aka Karpfucius. All right, episode 3 of the Karpfucius Says Podcast. So far, so good, I think. For episode 1, we talked about vibrational proportion. Basically, how to get something that you want if no other actions have really been working. Right? This was me for a number of years. And understanding that our inner worlds create our outer worlds, and how to actually apply that concept and understand it with some more clarity, right? Episode 2 talked about what a life purpose really is. What is the definition of a life purpose? And cleared up one of the biggest misconceptions about life purpose, which is that it's just one thing. In reality, life purpose is multi-layered. And when you understand which type of layer you're looking for, and when you start looking for more of the purpose that already exists in your life, you start feeling it, you start seeing it, and you start living it. And if you are looking for something like your higher purpose, then you definitely put yourself more in harmony with actually finding your higher purpose. So that is what I want to talk about today. On episode 3, I'm going to tell the story of how I found my higher purpose. I think this is one of the things a lot of people who are searching for their higher purpose are looking for. Or people who are searching for their life purpose are looking for. They're not entirely clear on what it is, but something inside of them is saying, hey, I need something a bit more meaningful to me, or I need something that can be like a guiding light in my life. I need something that can kind of encapsulate everything that I'm doing. I need my calling, I need my mission, I need that very mission-focused, purpose-driven thing that can really guide my life and give me a lot of purpose and direction and all those things. I think a higher purpose is something very wonderful to have, because it really does do that. It really does focus your life and focus your energy, and it even gives you energy and can really vitalize you. You know, it's the thing that gets you really excited, and it's something that's usually long term. So it's something you're willing to dedicate yourself to for a period of years until it comes to fruition. It can be a mission in life. It very often involves other people, right? It very often involves a cause, something, a meaningful cause to you and to other people, something that you really feel super important, and something that really feels super important to you, and something that just excites you and fuels you. So I found my higher purpose, and I believe it's just a part of it. I don't know, because again, it's layers, right? It's layers of purpose. And the higher purpose typically comes from what you might call your higher self, or what you might call like your spiritual self, or, you know, whatever you want to call that aspect of who you are, or like your cosmic purpose, right? So I may have only gotten a piece of it, but I'm very happy with the piece that I've gotten because it gave me clarity, and it's helping to direct a lot of the other things that I'm doing in my life. So here's what happened. I moved to Southeast Asia at the end of 2018. This was a 4-year goal of mine. Specifically, I wanted to go to Thailand. I left college in 2014, and immediately I was like, I'm gonna start an online business and I'm gonna travel around the world. And the first place I wanted to go to was Thailand. It was like, Thailand's kind of like a mecca for people who run online businesses, especially the city of Chiang Mai in the north. And I just knew it was a beautiful country, and I just really felt the resonance. I felt the pull to go there. I thought I'd be there in about a year. But it took 4 years, and that's perfectly fine. Super grateful for everything that I did and everything that I learned in those 4 years. And I had a few intentions prior to going to Asia. One of those intentions was for me to get more in touch with my spiritual side. I had been meditating on and off for a few years, but I wasn't really that in touch with my spiritual side, right? So that was one of my intentions when I landed. Little did I know how much that intention would actually manifest and how much I would actually learn when it comes to the spiritual side of me and the spiritual side of life. And I do believe I manifested my higher purpose in part because of this intention. So I landed in Thailand at the end of 2018, and the first month I spent on the islands in the south. I had a lot of fun. I went to the full moon party on Koh Phangan, and yeah, had a lot of fun. Went to the island of Koh Tao, small island where people do a lot of scuba diving, things like that. A lot of people get their scuba diving licenses over there. I met some amazing friends on that island who are still my friends today, about 4 years later. And this was kind of the beginning of the journey, right? I met some people who had similar intentions to me in life when it came to our higher purpose. Even though I don't believe my friends were fully aware of what their higher purpose was, and I definitely wasn't fully aware of mine. But we had intentions to do things that were very cause, mission focused, very purpose driven, right? And so we kind of fed off of each other in terms of the knowledge we were taking in, who we were learning from, the types of experiences we were having, pushing each other to go out of our comfort zones and to kind of explore more spiritual concepts and having all these conversations and things like that, right? So nothing super significant related to actually manifesting my higher purpose happened for maybe 7 months, and I was out there for a total of 10. The first 7 months was traveling, having fun, working on my business, meeting people, and lots of learning and growth and things like that that come with these types of experiences, right? At the beginning of 2019, I moved from Thailand to Vietnam and moved in with some of my friends that I'd met in Thailand. This period in Vietnam was incredibly intense and incredibly transformative because it was this point that we were all actually living together and working on building a business together. And actually we were trying to build like 4 businesses between the 3 of us. It was pretty nuts. But We started a mastermind. We're having all these meetings, and we were going through a lot of inner transformation, working on like our subconscious paradigms and like working on like building our confidence and taking action towards like making an impact on the world. And it was just a really, really intense period of transformation and change. And it was a period where I opened myself up as much as I could. I opened up my heart and I opened up my mind a lot, like way beyond my previous comfort zone. And what this did was it opened up my energy to attract different types of experiences. For example, I met through a friend, I met the founder of an NGO, a non-governmental organization, this Swedish lady who had started an organization called Mason Chance. And what they do is they take people off the street, people who are like homeless kids, people who are like disabled adults. They take them off the street, they house them, feed them, educate them, and help them reintegrate back into society so they can live normal lives again, right? Like, I'd never met this type of person before. And, you know, it might have even made me uncomfortable in the past. But because my heart was open, and because I was gaining a lot more confidence in myself and just being confident in my own skin, and because I was saying yes to a lot of different experiences, in spite of dealing with stuff like, I dealt with stuff like social anxiety. I dealt with stuff like not feeling worthy of doing what I was doing and not feeling worthy of being able to make an impact on people's lives. Like, I dealt with those paradigms, but I continued to say yes, and I continued to open my mind and open my heart and expand my comfort zone and expand my personality and expand the types of experiences I opened myself up to. So one night, what I like to do, I was living in Saigon, right? What I like to do on the weekends is just explore the city and do reading, work on stuff, just go sightseeing and just, you know, sort of hang out and do my own thing. On Sunday nights, I always used to go to this really nice spot down by the river. I think it's the Mekong that flows through Saigon. Just go to this really nice spot, just chill there, get like, you know, get a snack or whatever, and listen to music, listen to audiobooks, and just kind of chill out and watch the sunset. And people would always be like flying their kites and stuff in this huge field, and it was just an awesome vibe, just a really, really good vibe out there, right? And I would always get into this like very contemplative state. So it was right when I was about to leave, and it was probably like right when the sun was going down, like all the sky was like purple, and you could see the outlines of the clouds. And I had just called a Grab to come pick me up. A Grab is basically an Uber, except they come and pick you up on a motorbike, and you hop on the back, and they give you a helmet, you hop on the back, and you basically just kind of ride on the back of the motorbike, right? And so I was waiting for my Grab bike to come, and I looked up at the clouds, and I was just admiring the clouds, and suddenly this thought came into my mind. And the thought was, I'm going to help people achieve their dreams. Right? And it just kept coming. I kept thinking it again. I was like, what? It was like, I'm going to help people achieve their dreams. And then this energy just started flowing through me like I'd never felt before. It was like an intense feeling of inspiration. Like my heart's pumping, and like it it felt good. It just felt really, really good. And I was like, whoa, like, where did this come from? Like, what is this? And then my grab bike shows up, right? And I go walk up, I meet him, say what's up. I put on my headphones, and always on the grab bikes, I would play this epic, like, cinematic music that you'd hear in like a movie, right? Like super epic music, because it made the whole experience that I was having feel even more like a movie than it already was. And so I put on my super epic cinematic music, I put on my helmet, and I got on the back of the bike, and I just kept thinking about it. Like, wow, this is amazing. Like, it felt so good. It resonated so strongly with my heart and my soul. And I knew it was something that was very deep, right? And the ride home from this area, from that part of the city to my apartment, was like a 20-minute ride. So I had a lot of time on the back of this bike just to contemplate this thought and this inspiration that had come through me, right? So I'm going to help people achieve their dreams. Like, what does that even mean? Like, it's really ambiguous. It's not a specific thing, right? But it felt really, really good. And at the time, I was starting to build a coaching business, right? Helping people basically figure out what to do with their lives and find their passion, find their purpose, and turn it into a career. So I was already kind of, and this is something I had said yes to, right? Something that had made me, I wasn't 100% confident in doing it. It was definitely outside of my comfort zone. But since my heart was open, my mind was open, I was saying yes to things, I had said yes to this, right? And so I was working with people, helping them to figure out what to do with their lives, and ultimately, in a way, help them to achieve their dreams, right? Of whatever it was. And so when this thought came, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I think this is related to all the steps that I've been taking so far in this journey of personal growth and in this journey of spiritual growth and really opening myself up. So it wasn't completely random. I knew it was related to like who I was on a deep level. Like, I knew this was a different part of me starting to express itself. And I knew it was some more clarity starting to be inspired through me, so that I know more of what the heck I'm doing, right? So I have more clarity and direction in my own life. So I'm just thinking about it, I'm imagining it, I'm like, okay, this is awesome. I'm still on the back of the grab bike. And about 20 minutes later, I get back to my apartment. And my roommate and my friend, he had just gotten home from a weekend away with his girlfriend. And he was like, yo, what's up, bro? How was your weekend? And I just said, I think I found my life purpose. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah. And then he just kind of shook his head, smiled, and was like, the lives we're living, eh? Like finding your life purpose on like a random Sunday in Vietnam. And back then I did think it was the type of life purpose that most people believe they're searching for. I did think, okay, this is it. I even started to affirm it, right? I created an affirmation for it, and I started to affirm it to make sure that I start to really ingrain this purpose into myself and start living it. It wasn't until, years later that I realized it was just one layer. And it wasn't exactly a very specific layer, like helping people achieve their dreams, that is something quite broad and quite general, but it is still a guiding light for me. It is still something that I can utilize in my life to guide my actions and make decisions. And make the decisions that are in alignment with my purpose, and make decisions that I feel really good about. For example, this podcast, right? This podcast is an expression of me helping people achieve their dreams, right? Anything that I write is an expression of that. Any piece of content that I create is an expression of that. Any course I create is an expression of that. Any coaching that I do, any books that I write, basically anything that I do in my business now, which like right now I'm doing marketing. Right now I have a book on Amazon. I'm doing some freelance writing, and I'm developing a course. Anything that I do is now related to that. It is now related to my higher purpose of helping people achieve their dreams. And it's not something that I don't always have to think about it. I don't always have to, it's not something that's super strict, right? It's just something that kind of, it makes me feel grounded in what I'm doing, and it definitely gives me a lot of clarity. Like, okay, like if I'm helping someone accomplish something, that's very purposeful for me, right? If I'm providing value in someone's life with information or knowledge or sharing a story or like a book or a course or some resource that can help them accomplish something that they want, if I can help other people get what they want, then I'm living very much in alignment with my own purpose. Definitely the higher purpose, but also some of the like more grounded purposes. Like part of my purpose is just to help others. And part of my purpose is to create things that other people can benefit from. Like I love creating stuff. Like even like I love creating music. I love creating content. When I was a kid, I loved like creating videos. Actually, I made like funny lip sync videos on YouTube. And I created my own longboard and a shortboard. Like I love making stuff like that. It's not just related to work. So through this, I have gained a much better understanding of what a higher purpose is and how it can come to someone. It really came to me during a period of intense transformation where my heart was open, right? I wasn't trying to find my higher purpose. That's the funny part about it. Like I wasn't like, oh, I need to find this. And I wasn't like, oh, I won't be complete until I find this, right? I wasn't like, I wasn't focused on it not being there. I was living in the moment. I was living heart-centered. I was following my heart like 100%. I was taking risks. And my mind and my heart were open. And I believe that's one of the reasons why I was in harmony with manifesting this thought, in essence, this thought which I believe to be a part of my higher purpose in life and why I'm here to how I'm going to serve the world, right? Which is something that, again, is important to me. So it's not that every higher purpose is related to some very grand mission-focused thing. Like for some people, their higher purpose may literally be to raise a family, right? Or their higher purpose may be something else. Like it's very broad and ambiguous, and I think that's why so many people struggle to find it, because they're looking for something that they don't fully understand, and they don't fully know what they're really looking for. So I'm living it now, right? I'm living my higher purpose, and I'm not thinking about it all the time. I'm just doing it. And I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm having fun. Like, it's not something that's super serious. Like, I really just like it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like it, and I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. And I love having the clarity. It's really nice. But at the end of the day, like, I love just doing this type of stuff, like creating this podcast. And I think that's what most of us are really, really looking for, just to really enjoy what we do, and to feel fulfilled in that, or to feel fulfilled in our friendships and our relationships and in our family, and whatever areas of life are important to us, to feel fulfilled in those and just to feel good about them. So if you are searching for your higher purpose, maybe some takeaways from how I found it. Open your heart. Say yes to things. Be courageous. Like, it takes a lot of courage to live life in general. But especially if you're trying to find your higher purpose, it takes quite a lot of courage, I think. Courage is acting in spite of your fear. It doesn't necessarily mean to be absolutely fearless and absolutely have no fear. It means you feel the fear and you do it anyway. You feel the anxiety, you do it anyway. You feel the fear and you still say yes, right? Say yes, say yes, say yes. Open your heart, open your mind, trust, and follow your heart. If you really want to find your higher purpose, your heart already knows what it is, because it's the part of you that is most connected to your higher self. So when you connect to your heart, you connect to your higher self, and you also connect to a lot of the answers you might be seeking in your life. All right. Thank you for listening. This has been episode number 3 of the Karpfucius Says Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Karp, aka Karpfucius. Follow and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.